good morning. It is a hot one here in Ohio. It's a warm morning, really warm. Surprised at just how warm it is. But what is this? This is the Sippin Coffee with Spider, your morning news. Well, morning news from last week. Because remember, that's what I do. I cover last week's news. That way I have some time to digest it a little bit and talk about it. It's more commentary than telling you the breaking news. I don't do breaking news. I don't scoop things. I don't wait on the front lines of the news and deliver those hits to you. I just give you my opinions on things that happened a few days ago. So today it is the 10th of September. And what do we have? First off, Associated Press getting in good. Ukraine President Zelensky says Defense Minister Oleksiy Reznikov will be replaced this week. Why? For fraudulent activity, which seems to be a thing in Ukraine, as we all know, if you've been following along with the various Trump things over the last several years. Apparently, let's see. Apparently, there was a scandal around the Ministry of Defense's procurement of military jackets. Ukraine investigative journalists reported that the materials were purchased at a price 3 times higher than normal, and instead of winter jackets, summer ones were ordered. In the customs documents from the supplier, the jackets were priced at $29 per unit, but the Ministry of Defense paid $86 per unit. Supposedly, that means that he was pocketing all that extra money or something. I don't know what was going on. Apparently, somebody was getting paid more than they were supposed to on purpose, not just getting a bad deal out of the things. So, who knows? As with many things with Ukraine, we're shown the happy face of underdog fighting a war against a big opponent, and we don't get to see the inner workings, especially the United States role in what precipitated the conflict. And that's an important nuance, okay? Very important. WWG says Sony may be working on a new PS2 emulator. That's cool. Sony has typically had kind of issues with backwards compatibility. Not that they can't do it, but more that they don't want to do it. They want people to play modern games. They don't want people to play old games. And if they do want you to play an old game, they will remaster it and bring it out for you in a new form. They don't want you to go back and play your old collection. It's always been like that with PlayStation. Like anytime you get a new console and it's got backwards compatibility, within a short time it's usually yanked out. Or, this new console won't be backwards compatible. And then when people complain, they put it in, but they always kind of want to take it out. They don't want it in there. They don't want it in there. I don't see why. Because more having access to more games, especially legacy games, I would think that that'd be good. I would think that'd be a good thing because people want to play the games that got them started. They want to play the games that got them moving on your console and give them the memories and all that other kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm an Xbox player and we have a lot of backwards compatibility, and we always have. ABC News says, pressed on Trump's conduct, Ramaswamy, who is one of the Republican GOP people trying to go for president, argues bad judgment is not a crime. How interesting. On one level, in the general sense, he's right. And he believes that a Trump pardon is what's best for the country. And I don't know about all that. I really don't have a stake in that argument. But he doesn't believe that what Trump did was illegal in any sense. And, maybe what he did or didn't do was not illegal. We don't know yet. The trial hasn't gone. We haven't seen the evidence yet. I'm not going to condemn him just yet, but I'm not going to defend him either. Same thing with Biden. We've got possible evidence that Biden was in the know about his son's Ukrainian deals, which casts the whole Ukraine thing in a whole other light. But we don't know for sure, and I'm not going to go out and say, yes, he did it, because I don't know. I don't have the evidence. Evidence is important. I believe 100% that if somebody's going to be accused of something, you have to have evidence to back it up. That goes for this. That goes for the Me Too. That goes for everything. So if too much time has passed and there's no evidence, there's nothing really you can do. Okay? I get it. It's not what you want. And you might carry some trauma or a lot of trauma. And I don't want to dismiss that, but you can't just go around saying people did something if they didn't, or if you can't prove that they did. Because that's the entire basis of our legal system. Proving that someone did something before they're thrown away. That's what it is. Innocent before proven guilty. You know, that's how it is. You don't want to play by the rules, then keep it to yourself. Here's a sad one. KIRO7 News. This is from Arizona, I believe. Former Smash Mouth singer Steve Harwell enters hospice care, representative says. He'd been having some problems for the last several years. He stepped down. They replaced him with a new guy. He's 56. And that's too bad. Because hospice, usually that means you're on your last legs. TMZ, who's not entirely to be trusted all the time, but they say that he's in the final stages of liver failure, and that is unfortunate. I mean, Smash Mouth might not have been the most popular band on the planet, but they had some big hits before people started treating him as a joke. And no matter how many people will make fun of All Star, you know, when it came out, you jammed to it. You pumped it up at your summer barbecues. You jammed to it. Don't tell me you didn't. Okay? And I mean, I got into them with their first album, or at least the first one that we knew about. They had Walking on the Sun, and Walking on the Sun wasn't even the best song off that album. They had a lot of good songs on that album that were overlooked. People only really saw them for those two songs. And Astro Lounge, the album that All Star was on, the rest of that album is fantastic. All Star is like a good, catchy song, but it's the weakest off that whole album. The rest of it is fantastic. Go listen to it. Go listen to it. I feel bad. Feel bad for Mr. Steve Harwell. I hope he recovers, but it's not looking good. Hospice care is pretty definitive. PBS NewsHour says Turkey's president is meeting Putin in a bid to revive the Black Sea grain deal. Here's what's at stake. In the Black Sea grain deal, apparently the world gets more grain from the Ukraine than from anywhere else. And there was a deal between Putin and the rest of the world that he wasn't going to block the grain from getting out as much as he was still doing whatever he was doing on the war. And then that deal fell apart recently because of different things between the two countries, obviously. Stuff like that can't last forever. There's a lot of animosity. And so the world is threatened with higher grain prices, which is kind of a bummer because, as I said in a few episodes ago, we should be growing wheat here. And all we tend to do is grow more corn for ethanol and for corn plastics and for all this stuff. We need to grow wheat again. It's not hard. Yes, farming is difficult. I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying that it's not a backbreaking effort to do crops. But as far as the scale of difficulty in growing crops, wheat is one of the easiest. Okay? Let's just grow it here. I don't want to get Ukrainian grain anymore. I'm tired of it. From The Verge, some YouTube staff think shorts might ruin YouTube, and that's not the article of clothing. That is the short video format that has been the TikTok format that It was something else before that. Like it was some V thing, not Vimeo. It was, what was it? There was another video platform that started doing that first, little short videos, and then TikTok came in and ruined everything for everybody because TikTok is terrible. And now everybody has that. Instagram has shorts. Facebook slash Meta slash whatever you want to call it has shorts. Everybody's getting in on the short video format business, and YouTube got into it, and people are getting ruined by it. Kind of like their attention spans are getting so small. They don't want to sit and watch long videos. I like longer videos. I don't want to sit and watch shorts because that means there's going to be a commercial, an advertisement as long as the short. Most cases on YouTube, because that's where YouTube gets its revenue from ad space, right? Precious little of it comes from YouTube Premium and all that. I doubt they're making a lot of money off of that. It's from ad revenue, to the point where they're threatening people who are trying to use ad blockers on YouTube. They're threatening them with cutting them off from the service. You know, it's that important. And I don't want to watch a video that's like a few seconds long after having to watch an ad that's a few seconds long or a few minutes long. You know, I don't want to do that. If it's a 2-hour movie on YouTube, sure, throw an ad on there, fine, whatever. But I'm not going to do that with shorts. And I think it's a bad idea. Reuters, let's see if this is paywalled. France to ban disposable e-cigarettes, Prime Minister says. E-cigarettes, vaping. That's been a big thing over the last few years. Says France plans to ban disposable electronic cigarettes, and it's an important public health issue, said French Prime Minister Elizabeth Borne. And, you know, I get it. A lot of this vaping stuff came up out of nowhere, like real fast, and a lot of people making the flavors of that kind of thing, they're not chemists. They're people who taste test things, and they do a pretty good job. Like they're mixologist kind of people. Like they could mix good drinks probably if they got into that, but they don't know exactly what all the chemical stuff does to people. You know, they don't know. So I get it. I don't think banning them is the answer, but I think regulating them as you did cigarettes and whatnot is probably a smart idea. Good luck though, because it's a new business, and you'll have to crack down on people running illegal vape shops and things. I don't think they're gonna have the time for that. Whatever. Science Alert says potent substance discovered by scientists may evade antibiotic resistance. Ooh, let's see what this means. Scientists have isolated a possible new antibiotic from a strain of bacterium found in sandy soil from North Carolina, of all places. The way it works could make pathogens less likely to develop drug resistance. The potent substance called clovibactin. I can already feel some pharmaceutical executives getting ready to copyright that, to trademark it. Has only recently been discovered in the labs of the pharmaceutical startup Novobiotic. Saw that coming. If it eventually proves safe, it will take about a decade to develop into something health practitioners can actually use. Note that sentence. It will take about a decade to develop into something health practitioners can actually use. And yet, when the virus years were strong with us, it took a mere few months for a supposed vaccine to be created that was supposed to be effective. And it has since failed numerous times. Partially because when you develop things like vaccines or things that are meant to fight viruses and pathogens, it takes lengths of time close to 10 years on average. You can't just force things through. You can't hope for a miracle. You have to take many, many years to develop things. And in the meantime, people got to develop herd immunity on their own. And I know people are going to be angry that I said that, but that's how virology works. That's biology, that's virology, that's all these ologies that you learn about when you're a little kid in science class in elementary school. And they didn't do that during the virus years. And it cost a lot of people, unfortunately. Couple that with the fact that they weren't treating it correctly, and you have a lot of medical malpractice going on. And I stand by that 100%. I'm not going to take that back. You can be mad. You can tell me that I'm some kind of anti-vaxxer, which I'm not. I am fully vaccinated. Well, not with the new one. Like, I don't have the C19 because obviously it's a failure. I don't get the flu shot because I get the flu probably every couple of years, every so often, and I do fine. My daughter has all of her regular childhood vaccinations. She's got her tuberculosis and her DTaP or whatever it is. I don't know, all those things that they get when they're a kid, which are ridiculous. There's so many of them. But she's got all those. But she doesn't need the C19. Nobody really does. And I will stand by that. And that doesn't make me anti-vaccine. That makes me anti-extra drugs that no one needs to take when their body can take everything else fine. Okay? Okay. People are still going to be mad. I know this might be the episode where you turn me off and be like, oh, I'm never listening to him again. But I'm just telling you, that's how I feel. And that's what's worked for me. So, this story is interesting because it's backed by science. Reuters says Raimondo warns China patience of U.S. businesses is wearing thin. Raimondo, that's a big name for somebody. I can't read it because it's paywalled because it's Reuters. I used to love Reuters. They used to have pretty good unbiased news before they went paywalled, and then I have no idea what they're reporting now. But if you want to read it, go to Reuters.com and sign up, I guess. Let's see. Another one from Reuters. Biden says he's disappointed that the Chinese president will not attend the G20 summit. Well, I get that, but China's been kind of on the outs with everybody, and they're kind of grouchy with everybody. And if you want to fix that, you have to open up the dialogue yourself, sir. But we all know that Biden is not a good talker, and that would be a terrible idea. Maybe delegate somebody to do the talking. Get some underlings together and have them do some discussions. So you don't say something that's clearly not supposed to be said. But we do have to kind of divest ourselves from China, I'll say that. I think we should have good relations with people like China and Russia and whoever, but I think we should be definitely more focused on our own domestic product, and we should be able to make things domestically without relying on so many other countries for our manufacturing. That's what I think. That's what I think. Love it or leave it. So many stories from Reuters, and I want to talk about them, but I don't want to worry about paywalls. I got a sneeze coming on, I think. Let's see if I can clear it off. PC Mag says 8K TVs, not dead yet, but pretty close. And there's a pretty good reason why. But it says at IFA, I was getting that backwards because a little bit of dyslexia in there. IFA in Berlin, which is a tech conference, Samsung continues to lean into its 8K sales pitch, but its rivals are largely ignoring the tech while 8K content is missing in action. And that's smart because there's not even a lot of things in 4K right now. There's barely everything in 1080p. It took so long to get everything upgraded to 1080p, and now trying to do everything in 4K, there's barely the content for it. Most everything that you see in 4K is up-converted. It's not native 4K, no matter how many times somebody will tell you. There are so few outlets they give you native 4K. And people are talking about 8K. You got to have a massive TV screen to see that. At some point, with so many pixels, your eyes aren't going to be able to tell. I mean, there's still going to be some people who are like, oh, I always show difference. My eyes are fantastic. And they're just fooling themselves. There's a lot of people who say, oh, yeah, I can see 4K is the best thing ever. I'm so glad. And that, do you have like a 60, 70-inch TV? If you do, then sure, you can probably see a difference. If you don't, you probably can't. You probably can't. I have like a 43-inch or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it's higher than that. I don't know. I don't think it's like 50 some inches. I don't think. I don't need a huge TV. I got a relatively small living room. I don't need it to be that in my face. I sit, I don't know, 6 feet away from my TV. And it's 1080p. And it's fine. It's perfectly fine. And I'll probably keep buying 1080s as long as they keep making them. I don't have a reason to buy 4Ks because I don't see it. My eyes just don't see it. My eyesight is relatively good, despite the fact that I wear glasses. It's still pretty darn good for the most part. But yeah, 8K is overkill, and I understand manufacturers not getting into it. Let's see. So many stories from Reuters today. Man, they really want people to read, but I'm not going to sign up. I'm not. Oh, yeah, here's another one from The Verge that we talked about yesterday. Microsoft is removing WordPad from Windows after nearly 30 years, and that's kind of because it's not necessary anymore. Ever since Microsoft Word got kind of folded into Microsoft Office, it's been that, and it's been Notepad for programmers. Those two. WordPad has just been kind of this extra little, like, neat little in between that wasn't necessary. You could get one or the other and do just as fine. So I don't think it'll be missed. Let's see. Now this has been an ongoing story. Washington Post, and this, by the time this airs, since it's from last week, this story will be finished, and hopefully everyone will be out of there. But thousands stuck at the Burning Man festival amid mud, dust, and really gross bathrooms. They had flooding. The festival got flooded out, and it's a disaster area. And the mud is so bad that vehicles are stuck and you can't get out because the surrounding area is treacherous because of the mud. And they're afraid that people are going to cause accidents and they're going to get hurt and killed. So they're trying to like have everybody wait until the conditions are better. And Burning Man is kind of like a big hippie thing out in the desert. You know, Burning Man, people don't go there with the best cleanliness and the best hygiene already. And I'm not trying to be rude and mean about that, but festivals are already places where you don't always get in a lot of showers. I've been to a couple festivals, and you go there and you're lucky if you get to clean up at any point during. But the whole point is to go there, live it up, not care, go back and clean up once you get home, and then resume your normal hygienic lifestyle. And people go to Burning Man, they don't worry about it, and it's much worse now because they probably didn't take enough materials to begin with. Not enough food, not enough drink, and I mean probably some drink, but not enough like water. And you can't just drink the water that's all flooding out. It's going to be filled with dysentery and all that stuff. Imagine the overflowing bathrooms and all that other kind of stuff. Wading through that, man. Nah, I'll skip it. I feel bad for the people, I do, but I'll skip it. I hope they get out soon. If they're not out by now, by this episode, I'll be kind of like, oh my gosh. Now, this is funny. It's from comicbook.com. One Piece conquers Netflix top 10 after debut. This is the debut of the live action series, and I can't see it. I can't see it being that good. And maybe I just don't get it. But I know the One Piece anime I've seen how the characters look. I've seen how the action plays out. I can't see that translating to a live action and still being the same thing and still being entertaining. I can't see that. It's in the top 10 now, so a lot of people tuned in, but will it stay there is what I wonder. Because some people will tune in and be like, I'm curious, I want to see how it is, and an extra who might not have otherwise, and they'll tune in and they'll take a look, and then they'll lose interest, and then the ratings will flop after that. But maybe not. I could be completely wrong. There's always a chance. Always a chance. I don't know. Entertainment Weekly says that The Equalizer 3 with Denzel Washington tops the box office, but Barbie is still the year's #1 movie worldwide. How interesting. As I've said before, I'm not interested in the Barbie movie and I'm not against it. I don't have strong feelings about it. I'm not going to go on some kind of rant or tirade about feminism or anything like that because I don't care. I've never seen the movie, so how can I even judge that kind of thing? It's not my movie. But I haven't seen any of the Equalizer films either. I'm not a big Denzel Washington fan. Not that I'm opposed to him or not that I don't like him. I'm just not interested in his acting style so much. I've seen him in a couple movies and it hasn't been a big thing for me. But, whatever. I think it was Book of Eli is what it was called. I saw that movie. And I saw Training Day where he was like, King Kong ain't got nothing on me. I saw that and it was okay. Not my type of movie, but Book of Eli was okay. Some parts didn't make a whole lot of sense, but whatever. But yeah, he's just not one of my favorite actors, so I probably won't see it. But if you go see it, it's out there, and apparently it's doing well. So go enjoy it. Let's see if there's anything else. I still got a few minutes of the show, and I want to wrap up with some good stuff. No, IGN has Grand Theft Auto 6 potential release window leaks story and latest news. I'm not going to delve into that because I'm not interested in Grand Theft Auto. But if you are, go to IGN. Go to IGN and you will get the deets if you're interested. Washington Post says the International Space Station to test faster laser communication system. I like lasers. I like communications. I like space. Everything's good about that. So if they test that, I hope they work it out because I would love to have more quicker communication. Or really, I'd rather just when I send people messages that they actually respond back within like a good time frame instead of hours later every single time I send a message. Personal problems. Oh, and I saw this come up. This is a good thing to close the show with, I think. From the Belleville News Democrat. Forget fries. McDonald's menu teases unique new side dish. I bet I know what it is. I'm going to open up the thing here. I bet I know what it is. No, I don't want 48 hours of free access. Get on my face. Now it says because it has superior French fries, McDonald's really doesn't offer any other side dishes. It has apple slices as an alternative for its Happy Meals, but that's more of a publicity stunt than a real menu item. It has fully dropped salads completely. People are upset about that. They want their salad shakers. So let's see. Where is it? Where's the story? Come on. There's all this build up to it. Yep. And this is a post that McDonald's posted on Facebook without irony. Officially entering our buttered corn era. Add this as your side for a full meal. And they have no suggestion on when the menu item might be added or what locations would be selling it. It has received over 75,000 comments as of this story last week. And many were not all that kind. And many people just said nobody asked for this. Corn. Corn at McDonald's. You think that if they actually do that, would you go eat it? Would you go have corn? Would you have a corn burger? Like, would you take the corn and put it on a burger just for fun? I would. I'd do that. It might make the McDonald's burgers be a bit less tasteless. Would do that. I would do that. Corn at McDonald's, of all things. Like, they're gonna have to start giving you like forks or spoons or sporks or something. I don't know. It just seems wasteful. Everybody's trying to cut back on the recycling and all this other kind of stuff, which is probably why they got rid of the salads, because it's less plastic. It's, you don't got to offer utensils. You just stick to things you can eat with your fingers. So what about the corn? With a boot. It sounded some Canadian there for a second there. What about the corn? That's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, that's what's going on in the world. And yeah, so I'm gonna get out of here as per usual. If you have a question, comment, concern, please comment on this video or send me an email at uncannyspiritsclub@gmail.com. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel, Spider Does Things, and subscribe to This Uncanny Earth on YouTube as well, because this is the satellite channel for that. That's the center, and this is the little extra, all the extra things that you get on the side, like the McDonald's corn, but better, but better. So, go do all those things. Do me a solid. Do me a solid. Like, share, subscribe. Won't you kindly?